Right, so this glue does, this glue does dry very quick. If you put the activator on, it's almost instant. But if you don't put the activator on, you have that moment, where you can just tweak it a little bit, get it straight. But then I like to clamp it and go have a couple while it dries properly. Right, this board's 600mm wide. I like to put 4 biscuits in. That gives me enough space to get a screw in between each one. The first one, where's the machine? I put in the distance of the machine, which is there, which is just short of 70mm, 68mm. So this one, I'll do it 68 again. And then between there, 455, I want 2. So I've got 3 spaces. So I'll divide that, 45, let's call it 45. 15. I'll just move that over a little bit. 15 there. That middle one's 5mm, but if I transfer those marks over, it should be exactly the same if I spin that around. I need to work out this upright. Doubling the board up, but I only put biscuits in one and then just fix the other one to it. It's only going to stop it moving. Once the 2 boards are fixed together, I don't need biscuits in both. Right, this is the divider. See my pencil mark. That's going to go there. And then it's going to have another one next to it. So what I need to do, I'm just going to use this offcut as a template. What I'm going to do is line that mark up and that mark up. Get some clamps. Right, this is just template, but I'll just put it on here to show you. So I don't know if you can see, you can just see my pencil mark there. And there. Obviously done on a full upright. What I'll need to do that would be probably use this on this one, of course, clamp it underneath, then I can run my biscuit joiner in, you know, on there like that. I'll show you that. Right, I need to make a matching pair with that, so I might just measure it. Right, so this is the bottom one, that's the top that I just did. Good face out, because that's going to be inside, you know, it's going to be sat on top of these, but good face inside. This one's the bottom, with that damage, or patch, or whatever it is. So, the divider's going here, there's going to be a drawer in here, so you'll never see that. So, two ends, top and bottom, matching. What it says, I'll just measure it. I was just going to lay them out. I like to do that and then work to, you know, like this centre line and mark them across, and then they will match exactly, but measure correctly. Right, I'll do one of these that's going to be the divider that sits in there. So this is the divider. That's that off cut sat underneath. You can imagine that being the tops that I just plunged cut into. So that'll be standing up. So it's important that there's no gap there. That's why I've sat it under there on the trestles. I can't put a clamp in there in the middle, so just have to be careful I don't push down, otherwise the cut will be out. Right, I'll do the other end. Same. I'm using just normal screws, 40x50s, 2-inch 4s. Because I can't find the 2-inch screws at the moment, there's drywall screws. I'll try and get that other one over there now. Right, I'll put a couple of screws in that and then brace the back or put the backs on with a few screws. Decided to screw the backs on. Plywood is normally pretty square on the corners, but just to check, corner to corner, 2728. And 2729. Don't know if you can see that which one. So it's a millimetre out, but that could be because the corners maybe, you know, been docked. But that could be because the corners have been knocked. But it's within, it's, you know, it's close enough for me. So you put square. That denotes that that corner's square. If you were to put a round like that, that would mean that it's an angle. So square. So I'm going to be cutting that off. Alright, so I'm just going to put some little 30mm screws in. This is 9mm ply. I like to normally get the short leg fixed first, because it's easier to swing that top leg, you know, that long length, to get this, you know, straight as you work down. If you fix that leg, then you're trying to move just that little bit, which can be awkward sometimes. Don't think it really matters, but I find that's a bit easier. So I'll put just 3 screws in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 across the bottom. Not many, because I'm going to be taking it out. I'll put more in on site. Probably just staple it on site. Right, I'll do down here. Thankfully, that is sticking out. It's always easy to push it in rather than trying to get behind and pull the sucker out. Should really have some battens on the floor, like 2 battens. That allows you to get your fingers underneath and pull it out if you want to pull it out. But I'm knocking it in. Right, so I've got 3 in there, just 2 in there to the middle. But you see I'm out here. I can't show you without putting the phone down, but like I say, it's easier to push that long board over rather than trying to pull that little tiny piece, that little bit. Yeah. Right, so for this back, that centre one's going to be what it is. It's going to butt up to that one. Big gap in the middle there, I don't know what that is. But I want this, oops, I want this to run through straight. So I've got my squares. I cut that square off that I drew off outside, so I transferred it to over here. This is the factory corner. So what I'll do is just put a screw in there, stop this board moving. Then I'll knock that till it's touching, till it's flush on the edge. Then work down the edge and make sure it's over there. Get some screws down the middle. And the rest, you know, all this will land where it lands. And that's what I was saying about it being under. Bubble that out there. Lift this board, pull that out. Got one little tip. Get my hammer. Nobody's going to see this, and I can fill it anyway because I'm going to be painting it. Put a screw in, and I can pull that. See? A bit closer. Right, as you can see, not a lot of room. When I drew this, I checked that angle, that size, I mean the diagonal, because when you stand these things up in a room, the diagonal, that distance, is longer than that distance. So you hit the ceiling if you're not careful. I'll show you on the drawing. But screws. I always try and pair them up, don't put them at an angle like that, you know, blah 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 all over the place, because if they do warp your board, at least both boards are warping together, so you always try and sort of like pair up your screws. Not always possible, but. And I struck lucky a little bit with this one. This single section is on the left, which means I can stand it up from this way. I'm going to have to stand it up, walk it this way, stand it up a bit more, walk it this way. This is best part of 3 sheets of 18mm and 1.5 sheets of 9, so cup of tea after I've done this. Where do I put camera? I say, I should have put skids on first. A good scraper comes in handy. Right. Any damage on there is on the back edge. You won't see that. I think I'm gonna spin it around so that it's this way. Warm day today, look. Sweating like a fat. Right, that'll do. 44mm timber, that's what the plinth is going to be, so I think I'm going to raise that up a little bit more. A couple of 18mm rips here, I'll slide them under as well. Just one on each. That'll just give me a little bit of clearance to the floor. Because the bottom frame needs to be that distance as it is now. Right. Ooh. I need to decide what I'm going to do. Big hammer on that. In the past I've screwed these together, then sprayed them, and took them to site as one piece. If I don't, once they're sprayed, I can't put fixings in the back here because they'll be seen. So I think that it's going to get screwed together as it is. I squeeze a little bit of glue in, take the screws out the back, drop it off, put some glue on, screw it together. But then it becomes quite a heavy piece to handle and spray. You know, that's one full sheet pretty much. Right, tea time.